everybody. Thank you so much for watching. And if you're new here, then welcome. I am super excited today because I got this new package of plush yarn and I am so excited to check it out and give it a really good review. So put your feet up, grab a nice hot cup of tea or a nice cool drink, and let's have a look at this amazing new yarn. So I've ordered this yarn from Zaddy Crafts, which is a company that was created last year by Zach at Crochet Me Zaddy. Now, Crochet Me Zaddy is an Australian YouTube channel. It's run by a lovely guy called Zach, who was born in New Zealand but now lives in Australia and works here as an Amigurumi designer and creator. Now, he recognised there was a gap in the Australian market for good quality plush yarn, so he decided to just make his own. And that's amazing. What an amazing thing to do. So obviously I was curious to see whether or not the plush yarn could stand on its own and to see what it could do. He's got a range of 15 different colours available, but I know he's looking to expand on that colour range. Now, this isn't a sponsored video. I don't know Zach and I haven't spoken to him before. He seems like a lovely guy though. I was just curious and I wanted to test it out for myself. So now that this has arrived, let's open it up and have a closer look. All right, let's get this open. Don't cut the yarn, don't cut the yarn. All right. Ooh, ooh, it feels lovely. Oh, look at this beautiful color. Ah. So Zach has a very unique way of naming the colorways in his range and also the range itself. He's just named it a really good chenille yarn. So, which I appreciate. I like a good sense of humor. So as we can see from the label, we've got 100 grams of 100% polyester and you get 110 meters, or that would be about 120 yards roughly. Oh, and it feels lovely. Oh, wow. Okay. This is really nice. Got a bit of fluff on it there. So this particular colorway, let's see if I can find the name of it on here. I'll have to look up the name for the colorway, I think. But they're very cool little names. So there we go. There's the blue. Ooh. Shipping info. So I'll pop that over there. There's the beautiful green. Look at that. It's like a beautiful apple color. I think this was called Witty. I think the green was called Witty. I'm fairly sure. Oh, isn't it lovely? It's got a nice thickness to it. It's not too thick. It's not too thin. So far, we're not having any issues with any kind of shedding. Don't worry about that. That's a bit of fluff. That's not from the yarn. And last but not least, what else do we have in here? We have the bright red. So this is called Vibrant, this one. Just move you guys over a bit. Oh, it feels lovely. Really nice feel to this yarn. So the information we've got here is that it's a number 6 super bulky. Its recommended hook size for amigurumi is 5 mil. Oh, there we go, Vibrant. So the color is Vibrant. Witty, there we go. And the blue is Adventurous. So there's the names for these gorgeous colorways: Adventurous, Witty, and Vibrant. That's just awesome. I love that. So I did find the colorway. Adventurous, Witty, and Vibrant. Fantastic. So as I said, each ball is a 100 grams and 100% polyester. You get 110 meters, which is about 120 yards, I'm pretty sure. And the price for each ball was $8.95, which is really reasonable in Australia. So that's really comparable to the same price you would pay for your parfait chunky if you're ordering that from, let's see, American Yarns, Craft Online, Craft to You. There's quite a few places that sell parfait chunky here in Australia now, which is good. Unfortunately, it's still not available in our main franchises like Spotlight or Lincraft, but you can actually get your hands on it here now, and for around that $8.95, $9 price. So that's pretty good, which means this yarn is priced beautifully to compete with the overseas yarns. So fingers crossed that it does a good job and that it holds up really well. So next step is to put it through its paces, isn't it? Which colour to work with? They're all gorgeous. I think I might go with the blue, with the adventurous. Let's be adventurous and make an adventurous octopus. Yep, gonna go with the blue. Sorry, the adventurous. Just quickly before we get started, I also found this in with my yarn. It's a lovely thank you note that says, "Thank you so much for supporting our small business. We're thrilled that you've chosen our yarn for your creative journey." Aww. Each purchase means the world to our small team, and we can't wait to see the magic you'll create. Isn't that wonderful? And there's even a 10% bonus discount for my next purchase. Always worth supporting a local business, isn't it? All right, let's get started. Okay, so to test out this adventurous blue, oh, I love that, I'm going to make an octopus. So I've been making these little octopi to test out other plush yarns as well. Anybody who's seen any of my previous videos will recognize this little guy. I also have a pattern up on both Etsy and Buy Me a Coffee if you'd like to make one of these guys. They're great projects for beginners because they're very basic and have basic stitches in them. Essentially, it's single crochet and some half double crochet in the little tentacles here. And I explain how to do all of that in the pattern. So the pattern's available, I think, for like $2 or something on Buy Me a Coffee. So if you'd like to make one of these, then that's where you can find the pattern. And I feel like it's a fair test of the yarn because I made this particular octopus with some parfait chunky. I also made some with Motivera blankie. I made one with some Aldi yarn, and I also made one with some the Spotlight Panda Velour yarn that just recently came out and has already been discontinued. So I'll pop a link to that video down in the description if you'd like to have a look at that. But essentially, I made one of these octopi with all of those yarns. So I feel it's only fair to make the same thing to test out this yarn. So that's what I'll be doing. All right, let's get this open. I don't want to cut through that because knowing me, I will cut through the yarn. So I'm just going to tear the label off and hang on to it. Nothing on the inside. Nope. Okay. Pop that up there. All right. Now I'm hoping there's a center pull in here. Ooh, little bit of yarn buff there. That's not too bad. All right. Okay. So move that over there for now. Let's just do a couple of quick tests. I'll move those out of the way. Now, how are we going for shedding on the ends? That's it. Those two little bits of fluff. That's all. I'm pulling quite firmly on this yarn. Wow. Wow. That's really exciting. If that's all that comes off there, these tiny little bits of fluff there. Wow, that's impressive. All right, any shedding? Oh, I'm pulling on that really hard. I don't know if you can hear that, but wow. Look at that. These two tiny little bits of fluff came off the tail end, and that's it. I can't see the fibers coming off. I can't see the thread in there. This is amazing. Now, just in comparison, let me grab a ball of parfait chunky. Here we go. And let me show you the tail end of that. Now, look at that. That's terrible. That pulls so easily. You can just slide all of the fibers directly off the thread. And look at that. Wow. And then doing the exact same thing. I'm actually pulling harder on this than I did on the parfait chunky. Look at that. Wow, that's incredible. Okay, move that out of the way. Now let's see. Oh, we've got a bit of a knot here. So that'll be a join there. So I might just cut that bit off. So I've just cut it. Now let's see if the same thing happens with the fibers. Wow. Once again, two tiny little bits of fluff, and that's it. And you just saw me cut into the yarn. Normally, that's where all the fibers start to fall off and you can just pull them straight off the thread, but that's not happening at all with this yarn. All right, next test. Can I do a magic ring with this? So let's see. So I've got my size 5mm hook, which is what's recommended on the label. And I've got my stitch marker here. All right, let's see. Now with most plush yarns, making a magic ring is pretty much impossible. So you can get the ring made, and then when you try to pull on the yarn to tighten it, everything falls apart. So I need 8 single crochet in my magic ring to get this octopus started. So I'm going to try that. Oh, the feel of it on the hook is just fabulous. All right, get that stitch marker on there. Okay, there's my first one. Two. Not having any issues so far. 3. Just going to pull that tight a little bit and see if it sheds. No. Wow. Crocheting over the tail. 4. 5. 6. 7. And last one, 8. Now let's see if I can tighten this magic ring. Now normally with most plush yarns, you can't pull this tight because either the yarn snaps or all you do is pull all the fibers off the yarn and it sheds everywhere and then you can't use the magic ring. You have to cut it off and then go with a chain 2 method. So let's see if I can tighten this. That is completely closed. It didn't break. And it didn't shed everywhere. Look at the table. Was one tiny piece of fluff there, and I think that was from before. Look at that. It's a completely closed magic ring. Wow. Oh, that's exciting. That's exciting stuff. Wow. Okay. All right. I'm going to do something I don't really want to do. I'm going to frog it and see how that goes. How does it handle being frogged? Look. There's no shedding. If you frog anything with the parfait chunky, you end up with chunks like this, where you've got a bit of fibre left on the thread, and then it's bare thread, and then a little bit more fibre, and then it's thread. Like, it's really hard to frog this stuff without it just disintegrating on you. And I just frogged all of that, and look at it. No shedding at all. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. Oh, this is wonderful. All right, now I'm going to have to start all over again, but I'm not worried about that because look at how it's handling it. Oh, wow. This is a real game changer. This is exceptional. I'm really surprised. Wow. Okay, let's do that all again. Oh, I slipped. Under, over, round, pick it up and pull it through. There we go. Magic ring. Tighten it up again. So even after doing a magic ring, tightening it up, pulling it out and frogging it, I can still reuse the same piece of plush yarn. That is incredible. That's just not normally possible with any other yarn. All right, I'm going to do this magic ring again and I'll come back to you once that's done and we'll keep going from there. Well, guys, there you go. Even after having done a magic ring, frogged it all apart, and then made another one, it still tightened with, again, no shedding, no damage to the yarn. That's amazing. All right, I'm going to keep going with this octopus, and I'll do a couple more rows and then I'll come back to you to let you know how I'm going with it. But so far, I am extremely impressed. Once we've got a couple of rows in, we'll be able to look at the stitch definition and I'll be able to see how it's working up. So I'll do a couple of rows and then I'll come back to you so we can have another look. So I just had to stop what I was doing to tell you exactly how impressed I am with this yarn. This is so soft. I hope you can see that on that camera. It is so soft. This feels like how I imagine it would feel to hug a Muppet. It's really soft. It's really comparable to the Parfait Chunky in terms of softness. It might be a little, like just slightly less soft and fluffy, but not by much. You would barely be able to tell the difference. This is just so beautiful. It's so soft and fluffy. Look at that stitch definition. That is just fantastic. That's working up beautifully and it is so soft. Oh, I've never seen a plush yarn that is able to perform as well as this one has been so far. I mean, I did the magic ring. I was able to tighten the magic ring. Then I frogged the magic ring and made a new magic ring and I was able to tighten that as well. So using the same piece of yarn, you would not ever be able to do that with any other plush yarn that I've tried. And I've tried a fair few. So I am so impressed with this so far. I was going to do a few more rows before I came back to you guys, but I just had to share, like, this is just incredible. I am really impressed. All right, I'm going to keep working on my octopus because I really can't wait to see what it's going to look like all worked up. So I'm going to keep going and I'll come back to you soon. But I just had to share my thoughts so far. This is just so impressive. All right, let's keep going. The other thing that I needed to share with you is my hook is just gliding through this like it's butter. It's so smooth. I haven't had any other knots in my yarn. I've had no issues with any parts of the yarn being threadbare or shed. Look at the table. There's no shedding there. None. This is just amazing. And I can't impress upon you how impressed I am with this. And you know me, you guys know me, if I'm not having a good time with a yarn or if I'm not happy with a hook, then I will tell you and I'll let you know why. I'll always explain why I feel a certain way about a certain thing. And if something doesn't impress me or if it does, I'll let you know either way. And so far, I am very impressed with this yarn. Very impressed. Husband's not going to be happy though because it's going to cost us a fortune in plush yarn. Because I can envision buying quite a few more balls of this to have in my stash and to work up future amigurumi with. I don't think I'm even going to bother with trying any other yarn. I don't know. There's a few more out there I do want to try, but I mean, this will now be the new standard that I will hold them all accountable to, because if they can perform even half as well as this is, then then they must be pretty exceptional, because so far this is just beautiful yarn. Just really beautiful yarn to work with. What did he call it again? A really good chenille yarn. I would say it's even better than that. It's even better than really good. I would say it's a pretty awesome chenille yarn. There you go, Zach. There's a new name for it. If you ever see this video. All right, I'm going to keep going. Stop yapping, keep going. Okay, so I just need to insert the safety eyes now. So just pull that out for a little bit. So far, so good. Look at this. It is so soft. Stitch definition is just lovely. I'm really happy with this so far. Okay, so let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So roughly about between 8 and 9. So put them here. So we're using about, I think they're about 15 mil safety eyes, maybe even 20 mil, I think, by the looks of them. They're pretty big. These are just some cheapo glittery eyes from Temu, actually. I don't mind them. I mean, if you're going to buy them in bulk, it's a pretty good price on Temu. There's quite a few different safety eyes on there. If you want to be really, really specific with your safety eyes and you're trying to really invest in your amigurumi, probably better to look at some independent artists that create some gorgeous glass safety eyes and resin. They pour their own. They paint them and they do there's some fantastic work out there. So definitely do your research. But I mean, Temu's not too bad for this sort of stuff either. And they seem to work okay. So have a look on Temu if you are on a budget and you need to be careful with how much you're spending. So that little back snapped onto there, and that stops that from coming off. So that's why they're called safety eyes, just for anyone who hasn't used them before. So I'll do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's put one in here, I think. Same row. So I've just put that little screwy, drilly bit there that if you haven't used these before, in through your stitches, and you poke it through the other side, and then you grab your safety back and you can just pop that on, and that stops the eye from pulling back through your piece or your project. And then they're all good to go. So I gave him some little golden eyes to match his blue. I think that looks really sweet. That's gorgeous. All right, I'll keep going. So I've just got the tentacles left and then the stuffing. So I'll add the tentacles, stuff my little octopi, and we'll have a good look at him and have a look at the finished result. He's looking good so far. Okay, so tentacles are done. Last round's done. I just need to fasten off. Look at that. He's looking adorable. That's I'm I'm genuinely speechless. I'm so impressed. I've had absolutely no issues with this yarn at all. That fluff that you can see me picking off is actually the stuffing, not the yarn. That's incredible. Okay, so now the next step is to cut my yarn and fasten off through here. So let's do that. Now, normally we know that cutting plush yarn makes it shed. So let's just try one more time. Nope, nothing. Wow. Wow. I'm genuinely so impressed. Genuinely impressed. Okay, let's get this done. Let's see if I can tighten off. Oh, I didn't pull my thread through like I'm supposed to. All right, do that next. All right, now I can fasten off. Oh, we're getting a little bit. Oh, no. Wow, look at that. Three or four little blobs of fluff. Any more? Nope. Wow. Okay. Come on. Let's chat. More fastening. All right. So here we go. So we're just going back loop of the stitches to fasten this off, and you watch the tentacles get in the way every single time. Oh, the tentacle, you little cutie. All right. Okay. So, moment of truth. Can I pull on this and tighten and fasten off? Look at that. Completely closed. Didn't snap. Didn't shed. That's amazing. All right. Okay. That's like, again, these bits of fluff, it's the stuffing, not the yarn. I am just so impressed. So impressed. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to weave in the last of the tail just to hide it and then cut that off. And then I'll come back to you with my final thoughts, but I think you already know what they might be. Okay. Here he is. All fastened off. No issues. No problems. Absolutely just adorable. Look at him. And it's so soft. Oh my goodness. The yarn is so soft. All right. So final thoughts. What did I think? Well, I think you can tell that I obviously loved working with this yarn. And you know me, if I'm having a problem with something or if I'm not enjoying working with it, I'll let you know. And so far there is absolutely nothing negative at all I can say about this yarn. Fastened off beautifully. Magic ring twice. Even after frogging the yarn, I was still able to use the same piece of yarn. That's incredible. In terms of fluff, there it is. That's the bulk of all the fluff that came off this yarn today. I kept it all in a little pile and that's it. That's all there is. No more shedding, no more fluff anywhere. That's just incredible. So I'm just going to give you a bit of a size reference in terms of other yarns. So here we go. This is the Crochet Me Zaddy, a really good chenille yarn. That's the size of the octopus there. This is a Parfait Chunky. So again, 5mm hook, same hook, different brand. But in terms of size, they're pretty comparable. You can see that that Zach's yarn is slightly bigger. Tentacles are thicker and bigger there, but pretty comparable. Stitch definition, again, pretty much on point there, isn't it? I mean, that looks fantastic. So that's the Crochet Me Zaddy. That's the Parfait Chunky. This one was made with the Spotlight Panda Velour. Now, it's not really fair to include this one anymore considering this yarn's been discontinued. And again, my experience using this colour of the yarn was fantastic. I had no issues, no knots, there's barely any shedding, it didn't break. I had no issues with this one at all in this particular colour. But after I posted my video saying this was a great yarn to work with, I received a comment saying that they had a terrible time with the yarn and that it broke and it shed everywhere. And their experience was completely different to mine. So I got curious and made another octopus with a different colour. The only difference was the colour. And let me tell you, I had some of the worst experience of my life using that yarn. So the tangerine colour was absolutely fine, no issues at all. And as soon as I switched colours, I had the worst experience. It broke, it shed everywhere. It was almost like a completely different brand. I don't know what happened there. I don't understand it. And as I've heard, it's been discontinued anyway. So that's the Spotlight Panda Velour. But in terms of size, Parfait Chunky's smaller, Crochet Me Zaddy pretty much on point, not too different at all. And the Motivera Blankie, obviously that's going to be much bigger. This was made with a 6mm hook, not as soft, but I had nothing but trouble using the Motivera Blankie. That was, if you want to see that video where I made all of these guys, I'll put a link in the description down below for you to have a look at that. I showed my process of making these from pretty much start to finish, so you can see exactly what issues I had making these guys and what sort of yarns I used. I did use an Aldi yarn as well. Where's he hiding? Oh, he's behind me. There you go. And there's an Aldi yarn. They almost look almost exactly the same size. Oh, no, the Aldi's a little smaller. There you go. But out of all of these guys, I think the Zaddy Crafts yarn just, I mean, in terms of issues and problems working with the yarn, none at all. Absolutely none. I was kind of hoping there'd be something that I could point out and say, oh, just be careful, guys, when you work with it, you got to look out for this. But there's literally nothing. This was perfect from start to finish. And I mean, I frogged it. I used a magic ring. You saw me fasten off. What are you putting in this yarn, Zach? What is it made of? It's a magic material, I think. So, in terms of cost effectiveness, is it a reasonable price? $8.95, I think I said earlier, is pretty reasonable compared to some of the other yarns that we have to import here in Australia. In terms of buying other Australian yarns, there's one other provider or supplier that I'd like to try. I have put an order in there, so when their yarn arrives, I'll give them a good test and a good run through as well. So that provider is Source of Fibre. So we're going to have a look at the Source of Fibre yarns next. Just waiting to get that done. I've got a couple of other projects on the go at the moment that are keeping me pretty busy, which you'll find out about in my next video. So in terms of cost effectiveness, shipping and everything, fantastic, really, really good across the board there. It arrived very quickly after I ordered it. I think the only issue that you may have, oh, I've found something. The only issue you might have ordering this yarn is that Zach needs to restock on his colors, because as soon as he stocks up, they sell out so quickly. It's almost impossible to get your hands on some different colors. So if you are interested in ordering any of his yarn, keep an eye on the website, because he sells out very quickly. So that would be my only other thing. But I couldn't fault it. It's from start to finish. This was just a lovely experience to work with, and I will happily work with this yarn again anytime, day or night. I'd love to see what a beanie would work up like. I think that would be so soft and so warm. A blanket with this yarn would be incredible. A hoodie or a sweater or something. Oh, that would be amazing. It genuinely is like hugging a Muppet. It's just, oh, it's so soft. It's really soft, and it's just a pleasure to work with. Absolutely lovely, and I could not fault it. Well done, Zach. Great job. All right, guys. Well, that's everything I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this has been a helpful video. Definitely go and check out Crochet Me Zaddy. As I said, couldn't fault the product at all. It's just brilliant, lovely to work with, and I'll definitely be using it again in future. All right, what else have I got coming up? Oh, I've got a bunch of new granny square blanket projects that I've been working on. I'm really excited. I'm about halfway through one of those projects, and I was hoping to get that to you sooner than I could, but unfortunately, I mean, I've got bags under my eyes from working on it late last night, which is nothing new to us crocheters, is it? So I'll be bringing that to you soon. We've got another couple of ideas and a few announcements as well. So, all right. So stay tuned for those. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and be kind to yourself, because you deserve it. All right, take care, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.